Are you about to launch an Amazon product on Amazon Marketplace? Watch this video, because here Anthony Confrancesco from DataDive demonstrates how you can create optimized product listings and set up initial PPC Amazon advertising campaigns faster than before. If you want to try DataDive for yourself, you will find the link and a special 20% off for the first 2 years offer in the description below.
Hello, Anthony. I'm really happy to see you again here with me on Orange Click YouTube channel. And today we have a very important topic for Amazon sellers. We're going to discuss product launches and more specifically how Amazon sellers could write their product listings, prepare visuals, and also prepare the initial PPC campaigns. Before we go into the details, could you first introduce yourself to those who are not familiar with you yet, and also give us an overview of what DataDive is and how do you help Amazon sellers?
You bet. What's going on, everyone? My name is Anthony Confrancesco from DataDive. I've been in the industry since 2017. I've sold products. I used to have a creative agency. I've worked for PickFu, and now I'm here with DataDive and Seller Systems. And DataDive is a tool that really helps to speed up the workflow for any task you have on Amazon. DataDive is going to help you do it about 4 times faster. And in this video today, we're going to be walking through the process for launching a product on Amazon using DataDive. If you haven't seen our other video that we have on validation, I highly recommend you check that out. But let's jump into it.
Sure, let's go ahead because we want to make sure that all of the sellers get access to the most important knowledge and also features and tools, because we have previously talked, you attend many Amazon conferences where you actually show them live how DataDive works and share your knowledge with them. But now for those who haven't met you yet at the Amazon Sellers event, then now is the opportunity to learn from you. So let's go ahead and jump right into it.
Awesome, let's do it. So if we go, I'm going to go over to some slides here. And first thing I'm going to recap, again, if you haven't watched the video on validation, that's kind of the precursor to launching, making sure you understand the risk level of a product and the budget required to launch. So this is what we did last time. We validated these 3 products. We had a cat tree, we had kids binoculars, and we had a kids trampoline. The cat tree got a score of a -300 and a budget required to launch of 746,000. The kids binoculars had a score of a -650 and a budget required to launch of 143,000. And the mini trampoline had a score of a +350 and a budget required to launch of 185,000. Now, for my personal criteria, none of these products would pass validation, quite simply because my budget required to launch, for the budget that I have for a new product launch, is only around $30,000. So it doesn't matter how good any of these scores were, but for the purposes of today, we're going to change up our environment a little bit. And let's just imagine that maybe we're a larger seller, we've got a big budget required to launch, we're quite experienced in even the low scores on the scorecard, we still want to pursue the product. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go through and pretend that we were launching these products. So just like we had a workflow for validation, we also have a workflow for product launching. And before, if you were trying to do this manually, I would say this is going to take 4 more hours to do. I'd say the first time that you do this, it's probably going to take you about 90 minutes. But once you've done this 5 or more times, you're going to get faster. You're going to know where things are. I'd say you should be able to do this workflow in about 30 minutes. Now, the caveat to that is when we're launching products, I don't think this is something you're trying to do for speed. I would really recommend that you put some time into this. I'm sure if you have kids or you're a little younger, you've heard the phrase YOLO, not for you only live once, but you only launch once. So launching is something you want to get right. This is kind of the bare minimum workflow. So what I'm going to walk through with each of these products is what the workflow includes is we're going to write the listing. We're going to use the AI copywriter, and it's going to do most of the work for us. Then we're going to check the AI's work, and we're going to modify the listing. Then we're going to analyze the AI product brief and analyze deep dive, and we're going to use that to make a creative brief, make a shop list that we would hand off to a design team. And then we're going to wrap up with creating the initial PPC campaigns for launch. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to write the listing. So if we come over in the DataDive tool to the listing builder on the left-hand side, you'll notice that when you start, the listing builder is going to be blank. So if you click on this button for AI copywriter, what it's going to do is it's going to write you a title, bullets, and description that is going to maximize rank juice. So you can see here, the AI has written me this title, right? It has the most important keyword roots here. And if I look over at the leaderboard for ranking juice, I can see that my title is out of the 30 plus competitors that I've included, we have the highest ranking juice compared to everyone else. Now, one of the things that you're going to want to do, though, is you're going to want to check the AI's work, and you're going to want to modify this title. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to check the AI's work. So I've done a few things. You can see I've gone through a few revisions here, and I haven't really affected my ranking juice at all. You can see that I came up with a brand name. I called it Junktown. I added in some keywords that aren't necessarily getting a lot of search volume, but they make the title a little bit more readable. So it's not just keyword stuffing. So I added 36-inch trampoline, and also that is 4.5 feet. And you can see that I'm still in the #1 spot for title. Now, when the AI is writing your title, it's going to be almost entirely keyword stuffed. The whole point of a title is for SEO, to make sure you get indexed for the right keywords. I'm not focusing so much on readability. That is going to be more in your bullets, in your description. So you can see here that my bullets were, when I used the AI, were at position 9, which out of 30 isn't bad, but you can actually go and modify this and improve the performance. So you'll notice here, this is the Ranking Juice leaderboard. I can see my listing, the one that I created, was in position number 9. And so if I click on this button down here for the AI bullets, I can actually get into an expanded menu that'll let me adjust what was created by the AI. And what I like to do is, in another tab, have this section open, which is in the roots, usage, and hits. And then I can see this column here for remaining ranking juice. So here I can get a really quick idea of where I have keywords already in my title, bullets, and description, and then what additional keywords I could add to get more ranking juice. So for example, if I wanted to add a Spanish translation of trampoline for kids, I can see that this would add on 2,121 ranking juice. So if I click on this button for AI bullets, it's going to pull up the expanded menu. And this really deconstructs what goes into the bullets. So you can see for each bullet, it has a keyword that's trying to be used. And then if I want to remove a keyword or add in a different keyword, I can click on the X button here. So what I've done is I've added in, you can see in bullet 5, I added some Spanish translations of the keyword. I think these bullets were empty. And then I got similar keywords that had high remaining ranking juice, and I added them to some of the other bullet points. So if I click on the generate button, what's going to happen now is the AI is going to use these new input keywords to build me new bullet points. So you can see here that after I click generate, it's showing me here's what the input keyword was, here's what the AI copywriter used, here's what the AI copywriter created, and here's the ranking juice per bullet point. So if I click use in listing, now it's going to add that back into the listing. There's a little bit more customization you can do inside of this menu. Above this section here, there's a section where you can adjust how long you want the output to be. You can customize completely the prompt, but I won't get into that. I would recommend clicking on the AI bullets or AI description button and tweaking those a little bit. So now that the listing is written, let's move on and create the images. So when we're launching a product, we obviously need a listing, but we also need images that can be used. So what I'm doing here is I'm moving on in the workflow, and I'm doing an analysis of Deep Dive, and then we're going to do an analysis of the AI product brief. So Deep Dive is the image analysis tool inside of Data Dive. It lets you see all of the competitor image galleries all in one spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to note the different order of images, the different types of images, and the different strengths of images that I see. So the first thing that I'm going to start is main images. So what I really want to do is I want to see what types of main images already exist inside of this niche. And so what I could see is there was really 4 main types of main images for this niche. The product just on a white background, the product and then showing some variations as swatches, a lifestyle image for the main image, and then the product with props. So those are for the main images. So if now I know if I want to launch these products, I'm probably going to go to my design team and say, hey, I want a different version of each of these so I can test using something like Manage Your Experiments. Now I'm going to move on and I'm going to try to do a similar analysis of the secondary images. What I want to try to do is get an idea of what are the types of images that I see in the gallery, and this is going to give me an indication of the types of images that I need. So all of these images here on the screen talk about product assembly. This is a trampoline, so that's going to be an important feature. And you can see that some are very complicated and don't have a lot of description. And then some are really visually appealing and very clear. What you're going to want to do is say, hey, we're selling a trampoline. We know we need an image that talks about how easy assembly is. What can I learn from these to make a version of this graphic that's even better, right? So similar to what we just did, these products were all talking about assembly. All of these images, these were all pulled from Deep Dive. All of these are talking about sizing. So again, I can look here and see which one of these sizing graphics do I like the best, which are the easiest to understand, and how when I make my sizing graphic, can I make mine even better, right? So all of these are lifestyle images showing the kid having fun. And you can see some are really bad Photoshop. Some are just a little bit bizarre, and then some look really, really clean and really good. So these are all talking about stability. You're going to see when you look at Deep Dive that you see the same type of image over and over again, but each seller has a slightly different style. All of these are talking about safety, product safety, and durability. So most of the information I can get just from looking in Deep Dive, but if I want to go a level deeper when creating my shot list, I can look at the AI product. So the AI product brief will actually read all of the information on the product detail page, and it'll read all the customer reviews to tell you what are the most important features of the product, what do customers like about the product, what do customers dislike about the product, and then ways to improve the product, and then your customer avatars. These are people who commonly would purchase the product based on review data. So what I would do, I'm not going to dive into this because we have a couple more products to get through, but what I would do is I would create a shot list based on the information I came from Deep Dive and based on the information that I got from the AI product brief. So this is a really, really simple version of what the shot list would look like. If I would actually go and work with the creative team, I'd give a lot more detail here. But basically what I'm telling them is like, hey, if I'm launching this product, for my main image, I want 4 different variations, one with just the product, one that's a lifestyle, one with props, one with variations. I'm going to be able to test that after I launch. I can either test before I launch using something like IntelliView or PicFu, but then after I launch, I can run these variations through Manage Your Experiments. And then for secondary images, I can go to the team and I can say, hey, look, I know I need an image on product safety. I know I need one on sizing, one on durability, one on assembly, one on gift or a present graphic, and you can see I've got this list here. Now you might be looking at this and saying, well, Anthony, you only have 6 spots for secondary images, and this is more than 6 images. What I would recommend is going and creating more images than what you need, and over time, trying to test and see what is the best order of the images in the gallery that's going to help increase your unit session percentage. So you can see here too, this is just a breakdown of the shot list, but if I was concepting these graphics and wanted to give a deeper level of detail to the creative agency or my internal team that I'm working with, you can see that some of these aspects, this is pulled directly from the AI product brief. If I wanted to go and create images that match, okay, we can see that excellent bouncing performance is super important. So what I've done here is I started to concept what this image would actually look like. So I came up with a headline here saying like higher bounces equals more fun. Then I went into Midjourney and I was like, hey, make me an image of a kid that's looking super happy and he's jumping really high, right? So I want to use this image on Amazon, but I can use this as an inspiration for the creative team to say, hey, I want you to match an image like this with a really happy kid in the product. And this took like a few minutes to do inside of Midjourney. Same thing here for quiet and safe jumping play. I came up with this headline like, let them bounce all day and night, zero noise. And the prompt that I used in Midjourney was like, imagine you have a parent that's sitting outside, the kid's jumping and it's late at night. Normally a trampoline is going to be like, squeak, 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 squeak. So I put in that he was like drinking some tea. It was like dusk and the kid was jumping on the trampoline. Obviously the prompt only got so far, but this is a good feeling. You can see, hey, we want to create something like this and give some more detail. And then the last one here was anti-abrasion and non-slip design. And then the headline on this would be falls don't need to hurt. This actually came from one of our the customer avatars that was generated by the AI product briefs. And it's saying that number one avatar is an active parent. It's someone who basically, they want their kid to be active. They want them to be able to take risks, but not get hurt. And so that's where I came up with the inspiration for this last image, falls don't need to hurt. And I went into Midjourney and I wanted a kid that was like falling, but he still looked motivated to keep jumping. So we've created the listing, we created the shot list. The last thing we're going to do is create our PPC campaigns for launch. This is super easy to do inside of DataDive. This is going to create exact match campaigns that you can use to launch and then expand upon these later. So all you have to do is go to the PPC campaigns for launch tab and then select your keyword roots. So these are 2 or more keywords. It's a unique way of describing the product. You can see I've selected my roots here. So in this case, I've got 12 root groups that are defined. Then I set the parameters for my campaign, like the bidding strategy, what I want my bids to be. I can do my naming conventions. And then DataDive, based on those keyword roots that I've selected, has already built me 16 campaigns that cover 34 keywords. And it's going to build out all of these campaigns for me. Then I can either send the campaign directly to Amazon, or I can generate a bulk sheet and then upload it myself. So, okay, that was a lot. We're going to do it again, but we're going to go much faster this time and with less detail. So for the kids' binoculars, we already validated it. If I wanted to create the listing, I would go into the AI copywriter. You can see I've gone through a few revisions. I added in some keywords to make it a little bit more readable. And you can see that I'm in listing position 1 for my title. Then again, I did an analysis of the images. I could see there was 4 different types of main images for this product. That's pretty easy to do. And I could see that there was commonalities between the secondary images. So all of these images were talking about product anatomy. So pointing to different areas of the product and explaining what it is. We had graphics that were talking about the zoom capacity and if their zoom was better than other kids' binoculars. And then they had specific graphics about lifestyle. It was like a lifestyle image, but the focus was really learning and STEM for kids. So based on that information, the information from Deep Dive in the AI product brief, then I would go to my design team and say, hey, I want these main images. I want these secondary images. That would be a good starting point to launch the product. Last but not least, we're going to create the initial PPC campaigns for launch. Same thing as before, I've selected my keyword roots. In this case, I've got 7. And based on those 7 keyword roots that I've selected, DataDive has created me 8 campaigns, which I can now send to Amazon or generate as a bulk sheet and upload myself. So last time, let's do it again. We had the cat tree and we used the AI copywriter. Again, this literally takes just a few seconds to do. You can see I've gone through a few revisions on the title and I'm still in position number 1. I could do more work with my bullets. My description just from the AI is also in position number 1. So we found some commonalities in the main images. We could see that really there was 4 main options, just the product. We had some cat models, we had different cat models, and then we had lifestyle. So 4 main, really 3 main types of images, but you could change the cats. And then we as well found commonalities in secondary images. So we had a bunch of images about sizing. We had product anatomy graphics that were showing the function of the different features of the cat tree. And this shouldn't stay lifestyle and learning STEM. It should just be lifestyle. So based on that, again, the information from Deep Dive in the AI product brief, we could make a shot list. So for main images, I want the product, I want some different cat model variations, and I want a lifestyle. And then for secondary images, I know that I'm going to need a graphic that shows what do all the pieces of this cat tree do. I want to see a lifestyle with like in actions. I want to see them like the cat scratching. I want to see the cat climbing. I want to see the cat sleeping. I want to talk about product assembly. You can see here, I want a separate infographic that talks about each of the functions. So I want to talk about just the scratching post, just it being a soft place to sit, just it being warm and fluffy. I need a graphic talking about sizing, one that talks about softness, one that talks about stability, it's not going to fall over, one that talks about durability, and different designs that we have of the cat tree. So almost all of this comes straight from the product brief, right? The AI just goes through and it tells me, hey, if we're talking about this product, we really need to reinforce that this thing is not going to fall over and hurt your cat or ruin your house. All of this just came straight from there. So the last step is we're going to create the PPC campaigns for launch. I've selected 13 routes, and based on those 13 routes, DataDive has made me 39 exact match campaigns that cover 160 keywords, and you can see these campaigns are listed down below. So I think that's where I'm going to wrap up today. I guess what I'll say is, I'm not going to get into this because I know we're a little bit over on this video, but the better you're able to set yourself up in the beginning of launching, the better your performance of the launch is going to be. It's really just that simple. And if you do things like making sure you have the right listing that's going to allow you to get indexed for keywords from the beginning, you have a strong set of image assets that's going to help your conversion rate, and you're running PPC from day one, you can optimize and improve, it's going to dramatically increase your chances of doing well.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you so much, Anthony, for going through this launch workflow. I think what is really cool about DataDive is that you really focus on the workflow, not just like single features, because I think sellers have been used to having, different parts which you showed today, which you can do within DataDive, in different spreadsheets and Google Drive, etc. So everything was kind of like all over the place, but now everything is like centralized in one place. Of course, there is a little bit of learning curve probably for sellers to start using a new tool like this that actually goes over so many different elements, from like product validation to launch to even, working with PPC campaigns. So how does DataDive like support Amazon sellers to start using the tool? And I also know you kind of do updates quite often. So there's even like probably you use it and you know it, but then, something new pops out. So how do you support sellers?
So we have a handful of different resources. Our YouTube channel is probably the best. It's just step-by-step tutorials on how to do almost everything you need to do for DataDive. On top of that, I host office hours 3 times a week. So there's one for North America, one for Europe, and one for Asia Pacific. Anyone can join. You don't even need to be a DataDive user. And there we answer any questions that you have. The last thing I'll say is eventually all of this is going to be automated, right? All of these workflows, DataDive 100% will do everything for you one day. Now, that might not be for another year or 2 years from now. What I would say is, like, if you can get the discipline to sit down and learn this tool now, you're going to see the most gains and the most benefits, because when this is automated, you're not going to be able to do these same things and have a leg up on the competition. A good example of this is SEO. With Amazon already actually released something that'll write your listings for you. And even though it's not very good yet, it's only going to continue to get better and better. So right now, you might be able to actually get a serious advantage on your competitors just by being good at Amazon SEO. Eventually, very soon, I think that's not going to be an advantage anymore. So if you can learn these workflows before they're automated, before someone just has to click a button and it does everything for you, you're going to be able to take advantage of kind of that gap.
Okay, so it's time to take action and close this video and get to work, I guess. But for those who were watching through this video, if you have any questions for Anthony regarding to this launch workflow, or if you're a DataDive user and have any questions, then drop your question as a comment below, because we're going to ask Anthony to come back to the video and answer that. And those of you who want to check out DataDive, then the link is in the video description below. So go ahead and check it out as well. So Anthony, thanks again for coming here today with me, and hope to see you soon again.
Thanks so much.
I do hope this video will help you to get the most out of your product launch. If you want to try DataDive, you'll find the link in a special 20% off monthly your subscription in the description. If you have additional questions to what Anthony presented, use the comment section below, and of course, hit like and subscribe buttons as well. And now I recommend you to check this playlist to watch more tutorials about DataDive. It's a really great software which we recommend to Amazon sellers. So check this out.